It wasn't always a given that Mark Harmon of NCIS would play Larry Jethro Gibbs. These celebrities were in the running for the part. Season 21 news is eagerly awaited by NCIS fans, who are eager to learn when their favorite show will return. Sadly, we do not expect Larry Jethro Gibbs, played by Mark Harmon, to make an appearance. Prior to retiring, Harmon played Gibbs for 19 seasons. Additionally, NCIS creators considered A-list actors to play Gibbs before Harmon was hired. Instead of Mark Harmon, A-list actors were considered by NCIS creators to play Larry Jethro Gibbs. It wasn't always the intention of the NCIS designers to cast Mark Harmon as Larry Jethro Gibbs. It was disclosed in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter that more A-list celebrities were given thought to play the part. Executive producer of JG and NCIS Charles Floyd Johnson talked about the casting difficulties the show initially encountered. Johnson told The Hollywood Reporter, "I know Harrison Ford was a name that everybody thought about for Gibbs because he was so perfect. But it was just a name thrown out. I don't think it ever went further than that. The Harrison Fords of the world didn't typically do TV at the time," according to Peter Golden, the former head of casting for CBS. But in those early casting discussions, nothing was off the table. Golden clarified, "That didn't mean you didn't put them on the list." Susan Bluestein, the casting director for NCIS, admitted she couldn't recall Ford's name. She did, however, recall researching several well-known celebrities like Charlie Sheen, Andrew McCarthy, Alec Baldwin, Chris Cooper, Clive Owen, Kevin Bacon, Tom Berenger, Val Kilmer, and Patrick Swayze. Although he declined, Scott Glenn was also given serious consideration for the Ducky part. "It was really difficult to cast," Bluestein continued. "Mark Harmon was fantastic when I cast him as John Dillinger in a 1991 movie of the week. I had Mark on my NCIS list from the beginning. Mark always struck me as having a strong enough presence for this role." The creators of NCIS threatened to axe the program over hiring this star. How was Mark Harmon hired? No one else could play Larry Jethro Gibbs on NCIS than Mark Harmon. He had competition, though, for the part. In the end, Harmon's prior work on The West Wing and with JAG was probably what landed him the part. Producer Donald P. Bellisario discovered Harmon while watching him on The West Wing, and in 2003, he cast Harmon as Larry Jethro Gibbs on JAG. Later that year, Harmon joined NCIS. 5 years later, Harmon produced NCIS New Orleans and served as an executive producer and producer of NCIS. "What about Mark Harmon?" asked Susan Bluestein. The Hollywood Reporter was informed by Peter Golden, the former chief of CBS casting. "Mark Harmon was a huge star, and everyone believed that we should make an offer to him and then look through the list of possible candidates if we weren't successful in landing him. Don Bellisario and Mark got along well during their meeting, so Mark decided to go ahead and do it. Suddenly, the show became much more important in my mind," Bluestein continued. Bellisario first had doubts about Harmon's ability to play Gibbs. Bluestein, though, was going to advocate for Harmon.